Imagine a world long before ours, a world of myth and memory, of kingdoms lost to time and seas that swallowed entire civilizations. A world that whispers to us still, through fragments of story, through ruins beneath the waves, through mysteries carved into stone. Among all the legends of antiquity, one stands above the rest, both haunting and alluring. It is the story of Atlantis, the lost city, the lost empire, the lost world. Was it real? Was it myth? Or was it something in between? A memory wrapped in allegory, a truth hidden beneath the waves. The first time the world heard the word Atlantis was not from explorers or sailors. It was from the philosopher Plato, nearly 2,400 years ago. In two of his dialogues, Timaeus and Critias, Plato describes Atlantis as a mighty island nation that existed 9,000 years before his time. He tells us it was a vast power beyond the Pillars of Hercules, what we now call the Strait of Gibraltar, stretching into the Atlantic Ocean. Its kings ruled over a land rich in resources. Its temples gleamed with gold. Its harbors were filled with ships. It was, Plato wrote, larger than Libya and Asia combined, a marvel of engineering and beauty. And yet, as great as it was, Atlantis was doomed. For in a single day and night of misfortune, the island sank beneath the sea and vanished from memory. For centuries, readers of Plato argued, was he recording history or was he weaving allegory? For Plato himself said that the story came to him from Solon, the great Athenian lawgiver who had heard it in Egypt. Egyptian priests told of a war between ancient Athens and Atlantis, and of the catastrophe that followed. To Plato, Atlantis served as a moral lesson, a warning about hubris, corruption, and the fall of nations who stray from justice. But to others, the detail, the scale, the richness of the description felt like more than mere invention. Could it be that Plato was preserving an ancient memory, passed down through generations, of a real civilization long lost? The legend of Atlantis has haunted us ever since. It has inspired explorers, mystics, scientists, and dreamers. It has given rise to thousands of books, countless theories, and entire industries of speculation. But behind the fantasy lies a set of enduring questions. If Atlantis existed, where was it? Who were its people? And what could have caused such a mighty civilization to vanish without a trace? Let us return to Plato's story, for it contains details both strange and fascinating. Atlantis, he wrote, was divided into concentric rings, alternating circles of land and water, connected by bridges and canals. At the center was a great acropolis, crowned by a temple to Poseidon, god of the sea. The walls were sheathed in brass, tin, and orichalcum, a mysterious metal that gleamed like fire. The Atlanteans possessed elephants, vast forests, fertile fields, and an advanced navy. They were wealthy, powerful, and ambitious. But over time, they grew greedy, corrupt, and arrogant. Their armies sought to conquer the Mediterranean. Only the ancient Athenians, in Plato's tale, stood against them. The gods, angered by Atlantis' pride, struck them down. Earthquakes shook the land, the sea rose up, and in a single night, Atlantis was gone. It sounds like myth. And yet, myth often has roots in memory. So where, if anywhere, could we find traces of Atlantis? The search has spanned the globe. Some point to the Mediterranean itself, Crete, and the island of Santorini. Around 1600 BC, the great Minoan civilization flourished in the Aegean Sea. The Minoans built palaces with labyrinthine corridors, painted frescoes of dolphins and rituals, and traded across the ancient world. But then, disaster struck. A volcano erupted on the island of Thera, now called Santorini, in one of the most powerful eruptions in human history. Ash and fire darkened the skies. Tsunamis swept across the sea, devastating coastal cities. In the aftermath, the Minoan civilization collapsed. Could Plato have been echoing a distant memory of this event, passed down in fragments until it reached his ears? The Minoans lived thousands of years after Plato's claimed date for Atlantis, but disasters have long shadows, and memories bend across time. Others look further afield. Some claim Atlantis was in Spain, near the marshlands of Doñana. Satellite images and ground surveys have shown circular structures buried beneath mudflats. Could these be the remnants of concentric rings like those Plato described? Excavations suggest ancient peoples once lived there, though whether it was Atlantis remains unproven. Still others turn to the Atlantic itself. Legends in the Azores and the Canary Islands and in the Caribbean all speak of lands swallowed by the sea. Some imagine Atlantis was in the Bahamas, where the so-called Bimini Road, a natural formation of stones, has fueled speculation for decades. To believers, it is a road or wall built by Atlanteans. To geologists, it is simply weathered limestone. There are even those who claim Atlantis was Antarctica, hidden beneath ice. This theory, though far-fetched, plays on the idea of shifting continents and lost geographies. Yet the ice of Antarctica has entombed that land for millions of years, long before humans ever walked the earth. And still the search goes on. For every theory dismissed, another rises. For every skeptic, a dreamer persists. Atlantis refuses to die because Atlantis is not just a place. It is an idea. The idea that civilizations rise and fall, that knowledge can be lost, that memory itself can drown. But if we strip away the wilder theories, is there something real beneath the legend? Consider this. Plato's story describes a mighty power destroyed by floods and earthquakes. Around 12,000 years ago, at the end of the last ice age, global seas rose dramatically. Glaciers melted, oceans surged, coastlines shifted, entire lands were swallowed. Could Atlantis simply be a memory of this great cataclysm passed down through oral tradition? Archaeology tells us that many coastal civilizations we know today were once much larger. Cities have been found submerged in the Mediterranean, in India, and off the coast of Japan. Off the coast of India's Gulf of Kambat, sonar surveys revealed geometric structures buried beneath silt, evidence of ancient settlements long before written history. In Japan, the Yonaguni Monument, a massive underwater rock formation, bears shapes that some insist are carved steps and platforms. Mainstream scientists call it natural, but to others it is proof of lost architecture drowned by rising seas. If we think of Atlantis not as one city, but as a symbol for many, for all the civilizations destroyed by water, by fire, by time, then the myth carries weight, for human history may be far older, far more complex than we have yet uncovered. There is another layer to the story. When Plato wrote about Atlantis, he placed it 9,000 years before Solon, which would be around 9,600 BC. Strikingly, this is the same era as Göbekli Tepe, the world's first known temple, built at the dawn of agriculture. Could it be that Plato's date, so often dismissed, was closer to real than imagined? Could there have been a forgotten culture in that age, a culture advanced enough to leave echoes that still reach us? Scientists remain cautious. To most archaeologists, Atlantis is simply a myth, a parable invented by Plato to illustrate his philosophy. There is no solid evidence of a lost global civilization. The ruins we see are local, explainable, natural. The cataclysms are real, but they are part of the known story of Earth's shifting climate and geology. And yet we are drawn to the mystery, because Atlantis is more than evidence. Atlantis is hope and warning, dream and fear. It tells us that nothing lasts forever, that pride leads to downfall, that even the greatest empires can vanish in a day. And it whispers to us that maybe, just maybe, humanity's story is older and deeper than we think. Picture it, a city of shining walls, canals flowing like veins of water, ships gliding from ring to ring, markets filled with elephants and exotic goods, temples where firelight flickers against orichalcum, a metal now lost. And then picture the sea rising, walls crumbling, ships breaking, people crying out as the ocean swallows their world. Whether it happened or not, it feels real because it speaks to a truth all civilizations face. Today, explorers still dive into the depths, searching for stones beneath the waves. Historians still argue over Plato's words. Scientists still debate ruins and formations that defy easy explanation. And storytellers, from novelists to filmmakers, still bring Atlantis to life in our imagination. Perhaps that is the real power of Atlantis. Not whether it was real, but that it endures. A lost world that never truly vanished because we keep it alive. A warning about pride, a dream about possibility, a mirror of ourselves. And so, we end where we began, with questions. Was Atlantis a memory of the Minoans, destroyed by fire and sea? Was it a tale of ice age floods, a fragment of ancient oral history? Was it nothing more than Plato's invention? Or was it something more, something still waiting beneath the waves? The ocean keeps its secrets well. Beneath its surface lies half the world, unexplored, unknown. Perhaps there, in the silence of the deep, answers still sleep. And perhaps one day, a diver's light or a scientist's sonar will find what we have been searching for. Proof that once, long ago, there was a city called Atlantis, and it was swept away in a single day and night of misfortune. Until then, Atlantis remains where it has always been, between myth and memory, between dream and history, between the world we know and the world we lost.